So I thought I'd make a video on something a little bit different today, and that is my journey into medicine as an adult with no prior qualifications. So medicine has this perception in society of being a very academic subject, which only people with very traditionally academic backgrounds can get into. And as society is starting to move on and modernize a little bit, this stereotype is beginning to change, and hopefully I will be the product of that change. So 2 years ago, I decided to switch my career to become a doctor, and I've been working every day ever since to get toward that goal. And now finally, in September, I will be going into a pre-medicine course, which will then hopefully, if I get the right UCAT score and the right amount of credits, straight through to university and medical school. So my educational background is quite unconventional. I started home education at 12 and I finished education at 16. I came out of education with no qualifications whatsoever. Now, the reason for this was because I was quite ill at the time, and between my parents and my local education authority, we all decided that it was in my best interest that I just focused on my career path at the time, which was programming. And we all knew, after having done some research and talked to a few people in the industry, that qualifications didn't really matter that much, and so I wouldn't miss them anyway. And it was also said that I could go back and get my qualifications at any other time in my life if I wanted to. So I didn't take them. I left education at 16 with no qualifications, and I worked from there to become an app and web developer. So fast forward a couple of years, at the age of 21, I got my first contract as an independent contractor at a local software development firm which made software for car factories. And I enjoyed the work, but after 3 months in that role, I began to realize how unsatisfied I was with my work and how unsatisfied I was with my path in life in general. It made me reflect on what I wanted to do with my life. The one day on my lunch break, I remember sitting there thinking, am I going to be happy when I'm doing this at the age of 40? And the resounding answer was no. I didn't feel like programming provided me with any opportunities for to have an outlet for empathy. I didn't feel like I had an outlet for academia, which I wanted to do, but at the time I felt my confidence was very low, so I didn't feel smart enough to actually pursue any of those things, but it was something I wanted to explore nonetheless. And I also felt that I wasn't making an impact and that I wanted to directly impact other people. I didn't feel like programming could provide me that. At the time, I had to just keep my head down because I had to finish this project that I'd been contracted to do, so I did just that. When it came to the end of the contract, I began to think about my other options. And one of those options was medicine. It was one of the first options I considered, but I kept putting it off because it felt stupid. I didn't have any prior qualifications. I wasn't academic. I had no academic history at all, and I had no proof to sort of show me that I could actually do anything academic. And 3, I was an adult. You don't often hear of medics going in, who have gone into medicine as adults. It's not too common. And if they are, adult learners, then they usually come from a postgraduate background anyway. So I didn't tick any of those boxes, and I thought that made it just some sort of stupid pipe dream. And I began looking into it, and I found a path, and I found that if I could just get my English and Maths GCSEs, that I could actually study it in an access course. So a little bit about why I wanted to study medicine, and it kind of harps round to the reasons why I didn't want to do programming as a career, and that is, 1, it's an outlet for empathy, and I find that very important for me. I really like to connect with people and make an impact on them, and I feel as though medicine is a very, very good platform to do that on. 2, you've also got the academic side of medicine. Now, I adore learning. I always have in some way, but I think more recently especially, because I've gotten a more effective approach to learning, it's given me the confidence to pursue learning in a more direct fashion. So I actually enjoy, reading textbooks and learning about new subjects like chemistry and biology and maths, whereas before I didn't. The third thing, of course, is the purpose part of it as well. And with medicine, I feel like there isn't anything better for me to do with my life than to become a doctor and use my life experiences to help other people. So where am I at now in my journey into medical school? It's kind of complicated. So when I decided I was going to switch my career paths, I had some money left over from my contract, and I decided that I would use that to, finance my changing career. and I was living at home at the time, so I didn't really have any financial responsibilities to worry about. The first thing I did was actually I took a functional skills course, which is a level 2 qualification. It's a GCSE equivalent. And I took functional skills level 2 for both math and English. I needed to do this because at the time I hadn't actually switched my career path quite early enough in the year to actually take my GCSEs first time. So I was sort of left in a situation where I had to take functional skills instead, because with functional skills you can actually take them at any time in the year. So I decided to take the functional skills there and then to prepare me for GCSEs. I wanted to do them because I needed to be reintroduced into the education system. I hadn't been in school since the age of 11 or 12, so it kind of, it was kind of a daunting prospect going back into education as an adult, especially doing something that most of the kids had already done before. It felt kind of a bit intimidating, so I felt like functional skills would be a good entry to that. So sure enough, I spent a couple of months studying all my functional skills modules for maths and English and completed them and passed them with flying colours. At that point, I decided I would take on English and maths along with biology at the college, which I did, and I studied for every single day throughout that period, and I managed to get an A in mathematics, I got an A in English, and a B in biology. So unfortunately I only got a B in biology, which is quite a shame because I was supposed to get A star in biology. That was what was coming up with all of my mocks. This was down to a secretarial issue at the college regarding my mathematics exam. Unfortunately, they got my exam arrangements wrong. That caused me to have to sort of like withdraw from biology a little bit halfway through the exam season because it was my strongest subject, so I knew I could afford to sort of drop a couple of hours here and there from it to focus more on mathematics to see if I could get the grade I needed out of maths. Unfortunately, I couldn't, so I had to retake maths to get my B, which in the end, thankfully, I managed getting an A. But it doesn't matter that I got a B in biology because all they care about for access students is English and maths. So the next stage in my journey into medicine is the UCAT. Now the UCAT is a medical school entrance exam, and it's kind of like an IQ test mixed in with a few other things. It just tests your competence in pattern recognition, mathematics, and reading comprehension, and among a few other things. I'm a little bit worried about that because it's quite an intensive test, and I do have a learning disability called dyspraxia, which will make a test like that very, very difficult. So I'm going to start revising for it in April, and hopefully by June or July I will feel comfortable and ready to take the exam in August, by which point I will then be ready to take the Access course in September. So then I have my Access course, which is Access to Medicine, and this is a level 3 qualification in the UK, so it's basically like A-levels but in a much shorter time frame. It's a pretty intense course. It's about 9 months long versus the 2 years that you get to do a level 3 qualification if you're doing it the normal route at school. And it's split up into several modules. So you have physics, chemistry, and biology. Apparently physics is quite a small module according to the tutor, so it will be mostly chemistry and physics. So I have quite a lot of preparation to do. So in the run-up to the course, I'm going to start revising level 3 content for both chemistry and biology, and I'm really going to target chemistry here because I feel like chemistry is probably my weakest science subject, so I really need to make sure that I have all the fundamentals down. If you're an applicant for medicine, you need to get 45 credits at level 3 at distinction. Not for all universities though, but most of them you do, so I need to make sure that I'm setting myself up for a win here and not a fall. And then there's plan B. So if I don't get the correct UCAT score, or if I don't get enough credits in my course at distinction, then plan B would be going to University of Leicester or Nottingham and taking their Pathways to Medicine program, which is where if you study biomedical sciences for 1 year, and if you get good enough grades for that 1 year, you can actually apply for medicine again, so long as you take the UCAT again. And if that doesn't work out, then postgraduate medicine will be my best bet, so I will finish studying biomedical sciences and then apply for medicine at postgraduate. So that is where I'm at so far, and that is my plan. I'm hoping to do some more videos on this in the future, instructing exactly how to approach taking a career change like this, because it can be quite intimidating, and I'd love to help out other adults in figuring out how they can make this dream a possibility, because I know for me this is probably the most exciting thing I've ever done in my life, and I'm really, really excited to finally start my Access course. So stay tuned in the future, and fingers crossed I will have some more videos out on the subject soon. Thank you for watching.